All right, Greg Harrelson here, and just wanted to have a chat with a few buyers agents in our office that are do phenomenal amounts of business, and just have a conversation about how things are shifting on the way that we're working buyers. Maybe handle a few little scripts and dialogues based on what the new conversations are, the new questions that's coming up from buyers right now, and talk a little bit about what we're doing differently when it comes to work in our databases. So I've got Lori Sorensen and Jill Lindstrand, both from Century 21, the Harrelson Group, been together for quite a long time. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you.
And I'll just kind of break the ice so we get it out there. If you see Lori kind of scurrying her seat, she's really concerned that her two daughters are going to come screaming, tear the computer off the wall, and embarrass her. And Jill and I are kind of hoping that it happens because it'll be entertaining, but we're trying to act like it's okay, Lori. Yeah. But in a way, I wish I could just tell them, do something stupid in front of the camera right now.
It's going to happen.
It would be real. It would be real. So let's just dive into it. What are you all, Lori, I'll start with you just so no one's confused. What are you doing different, if anything, right now in working your buyers, working your database? What are you doing different right now?
So normally this time of year, I would be setting a lot of spring appointments, setting a lot of summer appointments, noting who's coming in town, ramping up for showings on condos before spring break hits. So all of that is shifted. All of my clients for April, May have canceled their trips, which is completely fine. Mm-hmm. So one thing I did start was a list of all of those people's. I actually physically wrote their names down so I could keep my eyes on their names, making sure that I'm checking in with them weekly. Just completely, I've switched into like a nurturing standpoint, okay. Like really nurturing those leads, checking in. And instead of really pushing, come to town or, now's the time before spring break, the rental, all of that. It's more just like, hey, I'm here if you need me. How are you doing? If you see anything, I can video the property for you. Like I've really switched into more of a nurturing standpoint.
So how is the consumer receiving that? Because I would imagine when they see your phone number or your name, if they've saved your name in their phone, they're probably thinking, oh gosh, there's Lori. We're not going to be able to come down. And then you pop up and you have this kind of conversation that is a little different than it was a month ago. How are they receiving it?
So that's interesting. Jill and I both of us have created a video that I'm texting to everybody, and just kind of letting them know that I'm working from home, that I'm still doing video showings. I know that this is a situation that none of us have been in. We're all in this together. Just kind of letting them know that I'm thinking about them, I'm praying for them, and sending that out. So I call them. If they don't answer, I'm texting it to them.
Perfect.
And so I haven't got a lot of responses, but I've gotten some being like, I love it, keep sending property. But like you and I spoke the other day, because I was kind of almost a little discouraged with the lack of response. But then you kind of reminded me that if they see my face now when they don't need me, I'm going to be the face that they want to see when they do need me.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's really the approach. I've kind of switched my mindset of if I'm not getting a response, don't be discouraged. And that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah. That's really good. A great thing to talk about. I don't think that let's not let a lower response rate discourage us from being active and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, because whoever's calling us to get business, they're probably experiencing a lower response rate too, right? Like there's a lot of distraction. Everybody has their own world that they're dealing with. We all have this current event that we're dealing with, but then each one of us as individuals have our own lives and our own world, and they're all unique and it's different than it was before. So somebody may actually play your video. Mm-hmm. That today they're not going to respond. But 2 weeks ago, they would have responded, but they still played your video. Mm-hmm. And in the worst scenario, they actually saw that you sent a video and there's your face, right? And so there's so much that you're still accomplishing by doing that. So where some people may say, gosh, no one's responding, well, that's okay. Let's not be attached to the response. Let's be attached to us following our process. So that's good. I'm glad that you're doing that. So Jill, what about yourself? It sounds like you're doing a video similar to that. What else would you say that how are you adapting to this, in terms of working your database and keeping in touch with your buyer leads?
So I'm really just approaching it as like I'm a resource here for you. Not necessarily, I'm not trying to sell them right now. I'm thinking of touching as many people as I can right now, because in the end, it's going to be future business.
Yes.
People really care right now about us thinking about them in this time. I've gotten a lot of responses like, gosh, I'm so glad you called me. Like, even though I'm not buying right now, or I might not be a client right now, and you're still, you care enough to reach out and see how I'm doing, or if I need anything. So, that goes a long way with people. It's going to be, it might not be business now, but it's going to be future business. And people are going to remember that.
Yeah, it matters. It matters. And I think there's probably still a lot of people, whether they're in real estate or whether they're selling widgets, that haven't shifted their approach. They're probably still in business making contacts to their database and calling people, but they haven't switched their approach, right? Meaning coming from a place of concern or care and just, hey, no pressure here. It's okay if you don't buy. Don't avoid my calls because you're afraid I'm going to ask you to buy right now and sign a contract because, interest rates are so low. That's not your approach. I mean, interest rates are low. Great. They have been for a while. You're just calling in and checking in, and they're probably not getting a lot of those kind of calls right now.
Yeah.
Which makes y'all stand out even more. What are some of the things that buyers are saying to you all right now that they weren't saying before? Kind of like we're just putting our plans on hold. Beyond that statement, what are the other comments, conditions, objections, concerns that you're hearing coming from the buyer?
Other than they're nervous to travel right now, and it's all the uncertainty. I mean, we're all taking this day by day, and we're trying to get through it. And basically, a lot of the economy is completely shut down.
Yeah. Are you hearing buyers say things like, I think I'm just going to hold off because I think I can get a better deal later? Has that conversation started with buyers?
I would love for somebody to tell me.
I know that.
Yeah. Why would you love that? Yeah, I wasn't expecting that reaction from you. So please, why would you love for somebody to say that to you?
I mean, if somebody said, I just don't think I'm going to be able to get a great deal right now. I mean, I always tell people the time to buy is to buy on bad news. You told us that at the beginning. You buy on bad news, you sell on good. We're on bad news right now, people. If somebody's on the market, they're wanting to sell. If they're not on hold, don't show, they are serious about getting their house sold. And if they're okay with people coming through their house right now, they're serious. They're motivated to sell. So, right now, if I had somebody tell me that, I would love it.
I totally get it. And I list a lot of properties, obviously, and so I'm usually talking to the seller side. And I mean, just got off the phone earlier this morning. The guy's, look, I'm in town. I want to get this thing listed. I need to get he just got notified last night that the rentals are shut down. Yeah. He still came to town. It's like, I'm going to list this tomorrow. Let's get it on the market. I get, he is motivated. Right. So you're right. The new listings that are coming on the market right now, they are motivated individuals. And the people that are on the market right now, most of them are still motivated because they know what's going on. They know that this could have an impact on their prices, but yet they're still on the market. So that's a really good perspective there. What were you gonna say, Lori?
I've gotten a lot about the stock market and just the uncertainty there, because a lot of my clients are coming and that's their income. They're making their money off the stock market, and so they're just scared to pull anything from it. So
they were gonna buy by pulling money out of securities, stock market, and then they were gonna turn around and reinvest that into real estate. So they're saying, hey, I'm gonna, stocks are so low right now, I don't want to cash out on them while they're so low. Probably thinking like that. Yeah. And it's an interest, and who knows, it may go lower, it may go higher, real estate may go lower, real estate may go higher. The key is with investors like that, it's a matter of repositioning their money. So they may be selling their stocks low, but they're likely to buy real estate low at the same time. And so when people do say that about the stock market, do they give you like any indication that as things normalize, I'm going to be buying, or do they say, screw this, I'm just putting all these plans on complete hold?
So I had a buyer walk away right in the very beginning because of this uncertainty with the stock market. And they actually texted me yesterday and had found a couple homes that they want to take a look at next week. So I'm interested. Of course, I'm all over that. I'm like, okay, we're back in the game.
Yes.
I have no plans. I would love to meet you. So I'm interested to get in front of them next week and kind of have a conversation about what their thoughts are now. So we are going back next week. They've been off the market for three weeks now. And so we are meeting next week and taking a look at some property. So.
Yeah. So here's the lesson I'm learning from you on that one. And that is, they never really left the market. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They may have shifted their time frame in their mind, but so a buyer could tell us today, hey, look, I think we're going to kind of put our plans on hold because of the stock market. Then you just got a real example of, then a week later, they're like, hey, I found 2 properties. Mm-hmm. So then did they really put their plans on hold?
Right.
Now they're coming down to go look at them, or they're going to be looking at them. Mm-hmm. So the key is I've been saying that every one of our buyers right now are in a bucket. You put a buyer in a bucket, based on some previous conversation. So maybe you got a buyer 3 months ago. They said that they were going to buy in May. You call on them now, find out that they're maybe May is going to be June, or May is going to be, April, whatever it is. Most people have moved their date, whether it's up or whether it's back. And the key with calling all the leads is to figure out what bucket should they be in. Because if you've got a database with 100 buyers in it, and they're in whatever bucket that they're in, I would say probably all 100 are no longer in that bucket. They've switched, but you, the real estate agent, doesn't know. So then our competition is going to luck out and somehow contact them at the right time and get the deal. And then we're going to call them at the appropriate time that we already had saved in our CRM and find out they already bought. So it's just so important to keep these conversations going, but also understanding with what you just said, Lori, is they could tell you, I'm going to put it on hold, but when they're on hold, they're still searching.
Yes.
I wouldn't doubt if they said, I'm going to put it on hold because they're trying to save you trouble. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, Lori, don't go too, I don't want you to work too hard because we're not really sure. But that didn't mean that they weren't still doing their job, which was actually searching for real estate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thoughts on that, Jill? Anything that you could add to that?
So I think also everybody's perception of this is different, right? Yeah. And we have to be sensitive to that. And I think when this all first started a week or 2 weeks ago, people were panicked. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew what was going to happen. And I think as we ease into this and the longer it continues, people start to get a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a situation that, we're in right now, but, we still need to do something. I panicked for the first couple weeks, but now I'm kind of okay, this is our new norm. This is what we need to do. And, people are maybe going to start to get more comfortable with purchasing.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think that's a great observation and right now there's new news, right? So we're still in the damn it's panic. It's freak out. Whether you're an agent worried about your business or whether you're a buyer or a seller dealing with your own realities, I would say the panic is, and I don't think panic's peaked. I don't think panic has peaked yet. So, we probably have more panic, which means you might have one qualified buyer that says, I'm just not going to buy. That then turns around next week and says, hey, can you give me information on this one property? Then says, I think we're still going to buy, but we're going to put our plans on hold. Like all of that's going to fluctuate, based on what's going on in the media for the most part. And so what we can't have our emotions fluctuating at the same pace as their emotions, or we will shut down. You agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, at being a business owner, you have to put your feelings and your emotions aside because you have to help people that are emotional. I mean, we help people that are emotional every day.
Yeah.
So it's important for us as agents and as professionals and business owners that we put our opinions and our emotions to the side.
Have you made any changes? Lori, were you going to add something?
I was going to say, I had someone call me today about the beach shutting down and blocking rentals for the month of April. And it was interesting seeing their perspective versus mine because, and I also think that's super important of like what we're putting out there and the way we're speaking about it to our clients of like, my approach is that's fantastic. Like we need to do that. So then when summer comes, we can resume business or we can, that's my approach right now of like, we're doing what we need to do. Everybody needs to do what they need to do. So then we can move on from this.
Yeah.
So it's like the desire to be here at the beach, buy at the beach, find a different home, buy a condo. Like in my opinion, that's only getting pent up as we're home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that people are watching the news, but that doesn't make you not want to still move to Myrtle Beach or retire at the beach. So it's like during this time when there's so much uncertainty, like we need to be the voice in their ear of like, hey, I'm still here and we're going to get through this. And when the time comes that we can all be let out, people are going to go to dinner. People are going to want to travel. People are going to want to come to the beach. I mean, imagine being stuck in the cold, but dreaming of buying a house at the beach.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. So their motivations, whatever motivated them last month to make a purchase, whether it's go to the beach, whether it's to retire in Myrtle Beach, whether it's to upsize, whether it's to downsize, whether it's to relocate because they feel like business would be better in a particular market. Those motivations that they had are probably still their motivations. It's just what is their timeline to fulfill those motivations? That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So if we shut down, then we shut them out is what I've been saying. So we can't do that. We've got to make sure that we're staying in communication. Now, are you making any shifts like in the number of contacts that you're making per day, in the way that you're making your contacts, emails, text versus calls versus video text? Are you increasing communication via email? What are you doing in more from an activity standpoint during your day?
So
I'll let Jill go first and then I'll touch on my day.
Okay. All right. This might be entertaining. This is where it turns to entertaining right here. I have a feeling Lori's going to be real about something. And it's going to be fun.
And I'll speak to somebody that might need to hear it.
Okay.
All right. So I've been ramping up contacts.
Is that a dog in your lap?
Yes.
Oh.
Your likes just went up the minute the pug entered the picture.
That's
going viral.
It's real.
Yep, that's right. Working at home.
These are my kids.
Yep, there you go.
So I've been ramping up my contacts as far as I've been doubling my contacts each day, just because I know that it's important to at least double what you're doing, what you did do, if not triple, to stay on top of the game.
Yeah. So
I've been doubling my contacts and I've been doing more videos. I'm super you know how I am because I've been with you for so long, but I've always been against videos. I'm not a big video person, but like now I'm just like, I have to be out there for people. Like people have to know that I'm still in business. I am a resource here for them. I know what I'm doing. I've been in the business for a long time. I can be an asset to them and really just provide them with good information. So, that's really my intention right now. And I've been doing a lot more videos and sending out videos through texting and email. And just so that my face is in front of them. I mean, a lot of these people, it's funny, we all thought we were in a world where we didn't connect, right? Like social media. Yeah. We all hid behind social media. And it's like now we're not connecting. And it's like we're all thriving for that connection, more so now than any other time.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how, as long as that you're adapting to what's going on, I think that you will thrive in the end. But my adaption is videos.
Yeah. So you're doubling your contacts. You added videos, and that's perfect. Doubling, if not sometimes even doing more than that. Are you sending videos mostly through text or email?
If I have the right phone number for them, I'm sending them through text.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Good.
If I don't have a right number, it's going through email.
Right. So Lori, what is your day looking like now at home with your two beautiful daughters?
Oh gosh, it got a little warm in here. I'm doing the best that I can. And I feel like overnight I became a preschool teacher, a second grade teacher, a puppy trainer, mom, stay-at-home mom, like all the things. We're trying to do all the things. I have a feeling after this conversation, I'm going to have a schedule to you by probably this afternoon, which will probably be for the best. You called me 2 days ago, and it was exactly what I needed because I was struggling to have a schedule in place. Like it's very hard to make calls with the kids here.
Yes.
Like it's hard. So yesterday I did take them to my husband's office. There's like not a lot of people there. So whoever's watching, don't think that I'm dropping them off. But like there's 2 people in the office and they went there and they hung out. We're going to do that a couple days a week to give me time to make my calls. And then I've got to, I'll get you a schedule by the end of the day. And then I've just got to figure out how I can do the activities that I can do with them while they're here. So it's a day by day thing with me right now, as is a lot of other people that are probably watching this call. We're hanging in there.
Okay, so I didn't ask you any of that. I asked if you were making any contact. So I guess that was your way of saying
I'm not doing anything. I told Jill, I was like, Greg just called me, and I feel like he knew I wasn't being productive.
So I just had this crazy idea, and I really want you to take this on.
Okay.
Try it out.
Yes.
How do you, every once in a while, how do you incorporate your daughters in video to send, not publicly, to maybe send to some of your people in your database? I mean, aren't they also moms that are going through the same thing that you're going through?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a category of it, right?
Yeah.
There's an agent, Mike Steed, in Columbia, at our Columbia office. And I don't know why. I just said, dude, he's like, he hangs out, his daughter loves horses, right? So his motivation is like, get her another horse or buy a ranch and build a whole barn and all these things. Like that's just his passion. And he did a video, like a video walkthrough or a video tour of one of his listings. And I said, why don't you take your daughter? And she was at the front door. She opens the door and she goes, we are going to do a virtual tour. And I think she said the address. And then she opened the door, and, it was a little awkward because she doesn't know that much. I'm assuming she's 8 years old, maybe 7, 8. And she goes, and here's the floors, like something. Yeah. And they did a walkthrough. It was so awesome. The comments that he got. Now he did it and put it on social media. That's a personal thing, whether you would do that or not do that. but I could see you like having your daughters in your lap and just say, hey, it's Lori, please meet so-and-so and so-and-so, and say a word and say this, say hi. Just want to let you know that I'm working at home just like so many other people. That would get a lot of attention and probably really draw your database in. So figure out how to embrace what's going on in our world right now. Yes, Jill, you should have the pug a little bit higher,
For sure.
in the camera. Because as soon as you did that, when I saw the dog's like head or back or whatever, and then you lifted the dog up, I was like, I don't know, even me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like that, not cool as in, oh, that was a cool marketing strategy. It was like, oh, okay, now that's real.
Yeah.
So
this is my other one. Right here.
Your other one, so there's two. So
that's Ruby.
Yeah. Got it. So what are your thoughts on that, Lori?
I love it. I think that's a great idea, because I feel like I have a really good, I do a really good job at like connecting with people. Like if I can get in front of them or on the phone, and I'm a very real person. So I think that if people saw that they would love that.
Yeah. I think they'll be drawn to you.
That I have two mouths to feed as well.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I mean, there's an underlying message there.
Yeah. Just,
that you're not in a position where, you're just going, real estate's not moving much of that right now. So I just go home and just, and just chill out. Yeah. No, you're actually, it's real for you. You're going home. You have to continue to work. You're dealing with these things, and I think people will just almost be inspired that like, hey, you're working through this, because of so many people are dealing with it.
And in our market, we make calls. So we're always like the people calling them and calling them and calling them. And normally, like when I connect with them, immediately when I got off the phone, I send a text to put my whole spiel, like a face with a name. Yeah. So it's like, if they could see that now of like, look at Lori, like this is the girl that's been blowing us up since the day we logged on to the internet to look at property. And, she's a real person. She's a mom, and she's, hanging in there and doing what we're all doing right now. So I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So I won't ask you this question, Lori, about routine and schedule, but Jill, share with us your routine.
So I haven't actually been coming to the office for a couple years.
Yeah, you've been working out of the house for a while.
I've been working out of my house for a couple years now. So, not a lot has changed for me, but I will tell you my routine and my schedule is everything. Mm-hmm. So I still get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I still work out every day. Mm-hmm. I am making sure I am at my desk making my calls at 8 o'clock. I am a prospector through and through. Like I've always prospected every morning. And that's like my routine. That's my ritual. Like it's not a day unless I do that. Like I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, so, I think routine's more important now than ever because we're really being challenged with keeping routine. And I was having a conversation with my boys yesterday about their routine. It's like, because they're still in school technically, even though it's online. And I said, look, we need to continue to get up early. We need to continue to, get some exercise, then get a shower, then get your homework done. And by 1 o'clock, if you do all these things right, by 1 o'clock, you're like free to do all kinds of stuff. Of course, we're kind of restricted because of the social distancing side of it. But, it's that important. And my concern is like if they get out of routine, then I think it's kind of unhealthy. And again, I'm sharing with you my perspective. But for a lot of us right now who are dealing with chaos, one thing that'll kind of lessen the chaos and that you can bring some sort of normality to your life is if you'll say, this is going to be my routine. You got to get family buy-in because your routine now probably impacts other people. And whether it's spouses, significant others, children or whatnot, it impacts other people because we're doing more in the home right this moment. So you have to figure out, here's my routine. You have to then get buy-in from the people in your household. And sometimes maybe it doesn't work. Like your perfect routine doesn't work with the family. Well, then that's where there needs to be dialogue back and forth. Laura, you said something about you're going to have them going to DJ's office for a couple days a week. Okay, that's a give and take. right? That's if it was a perfect routine, you would just be able to go do your thing. Everyone would be quiet and leave you alone. You could work all day. That's just not going to work for everybody else. So there has to be some sort of compromise. But through here's my routine, compromise, then get family buy-in, then execute the routine, you now have you're bringing in normality. And that's going to lessen your stress, make you more productive. And as you're more productive, you become more positive, right? Because you're now being able to do the things that you know you need to do. Like Jill said, doubling her contacts. Now all of a sudden she finds a buyer that's ready to do something. Then she's feeling better. She's feeling more positive. Then she becomes more motivated. And it's not that hard to make those additional contacts every day. It's really a domino. And the first domino starts with when you wake up. And if you wake up at the right time, and then the second domino, like Jill says, she then exercises. She then starts at 8 o'clock. Like those 3 dominoes, waking up early, exercising, and 8 o'clock starting her calls. If she just does those 3, then the day's going to be productive. So for anyone that sees that or sees this recording, got to make sure that you have a routine, you get buy-in, and you stick to it. Very, very critical. Any other last things that you would say about just working buyers? I know that you're probably in the Real Geek CRM probably all day. It's probably sitting there up on your screen at all times. But anything else you could just share about what you're up to, what you're doing to continue to keep the operations running?
I can tell you, for me right now, I'm more involved with calls, with coaching calls, with buyer boot camp, with Zoom meetings. I am immersing myself in as much as I can right now so I can keep up with what everybody is doing. That's definitely been a change for me.
Yeah. And there's a lot of information out there. I know I'm trying to put a lot of information out to you guys, and I'm doing the same thing. It seems like I'm spending so many hours studying right now, researching, studying, so I can, formulate ideas on how to keep everything moving. So totally immersing yourself in education to make sure that you're remaining current and picking up ideas. What about you, Lori? any last thing you could share?
I mean, I'm watching all the videos you're putting out, keeping in contact with Jill, and I'm trying to communicate with you as well. Yeah. So just kind of, if I keep up with you, I feel like no matter what I'll do, I'll be like scared into keeping it straight or figuring it out. Not scared, but it's that accountability.
I'll push you. Yeah. I mean, that's my job. That's kind of my skill set is to, to keep, it's not nudge. I'm not a nudger. I'm a pusher.
Yeah. I'm a shover. We love about you.
Yes, I know.
I'm a shover than a nudger.
Yeah. Like just
we wouldn't be here if we didn't like that.
For sure.
I attract the crazies.
Yeah. We're sick like that.
Yes.
Well, good. All right, ladies, thank you so much, because I'm going to share this with some of the buyer's agents within the operations. And I think we all just need to, what I'm hearing is like, it's business as usual. Sometimes we're increasing the number of people that we're contacting, and we're kind of changing the feel, the tonality of the conversations, building extreme loyalty and trust within our database. And then through that process, we'll find out who's ready now, and we'll identify who's ready in the future, and we'll put them in the proper buckets. And then we'll show up at the opportune time to help these people buy real estate. So that's what I've gathered from you all today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.